Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the explosive tensions and hidden agendas brewing in Port Charles for Monday, October 27th. As the drama intensifies across the iconic ABC series, fans are in for a whirlwind of emotional confrontations, long-buried secrets resurfacing, and alliances that could shatter in an instant, drawing viewers deeper into the web of intrigue that defines General Hospital. In a steamy showdown that's sure to raise temperatures beyond the sauna itself, Carly Spencer, fresh from her intense stint behind bars at Steinmauer prison where she crossed paths with the enigmatic Valentine Cassadine, finds herself locked in a heated exchange with Britt Westbourne. The two women, both nursing complicated histories tied to the ever-elusive Jason Morgan, settle into the misty confines of the steam room, where the air thickens not just with vapor but with unresolved rivalry. Carly, her eyes sharp and voice laced with that signature no-nonsense edge, leans in and challenges Britt directly. Why not step up and prove you're worth the loyalty he still holds for you? This unsolicited pearl of wisdom cuts through the haze, hinting at deeper conversations about Jason's unwavering belief in Britt despite their stormy past. Given the palpable friction between these two fierce personalities, Carly's bold, take-charge demeanor clashing against Britt's guarded sophistication, their discussion could erupt into a full-blown argument, mirroring the room's escalating heat. Yet, surprisingly, Britt doesn't dismiss Carly's words outright. Instead, she meets the gaze with a flicker of genuine curiosity, her usually cynical expression softening just a fraction. Could Carly's raw honesty pierce through Britt's defenses, planting seeds of self-reflection that lead her to take a bold step forward in her relationship with Jason? As the steam swirls around them, this encounter underscores the fragile dynamics of trust and jealousy in Port Charles, where one piece of advice might just tip the scales toward redemption or rivalry. Meanwhile, across town in a moment of raw vulnerability, Damien Spinelli opens up to his steadfast companion Jason Morgan about the gnawing anxieties plaguing his heart. Spinelli, the tech-savvy genius who's become the devoted guardian to little James West ever since Maxie Jones slipped into a coma amid the chaos of recent events, paces restlessly as he shares his deepest fears. With James's biological father, Nathan West, suddenly re-entering the picture after years of absence, Spinelli worries that the child he has nurtured with such tender care might be ripped away, leaving a void in his makeshift family. This confession hits close to home for Jason, who nods knowingly, drawing from his own turbulent history of fake deaths and miraculous returns. After all, he's been presumed gone not once but twice, yet he clings fiercely to custody of his son Danny, navigating the legal and emotional minefields that come with it. Jason's quiet reassurance might delve into practical strategies, like consulting legal experts or gathering evidence of Spinelli's irreplaceable role in James's life, emphasizing how parental bonds transcend biology in the unpredictable world of Port Charles. But lurking beneath this heartfelt talk is the larger question of Nathan's rights. Presumed dead for 7 long years after a tragic shooting, does he automatically reclaim his place, or will the courts weigh Spinelli's consistent presence more heavily? This subplot not only highlights themes of found family and resilience but also teases potential custody battles that could ripple through the Quartermaine and Scorpio circles, forcing characters to confront what truly defines a father's love. As Nathan West begins piecing together the fragments of his lost time, he seeks solace in an unexpected reconnection with Lulu Spencer, Maxie's closest confidant, who herself endured years in a coma, emerging to a world forever altered. Their meeting unfolds in a quiet corner of the hospital, where Nathan recounts the disorienting fog of his disappearance, whether it was a prolonged coma mirroring Lulu's own ordeal or a case of amnesia erasing 7 critical years from his memory remains a tantalizing mystery. Flashes of his backstory emerge: the fateful night he was shot, only to wake up disoriented in General Hospital after crashing a pickup truck that Lulu herself discovered wrecked on a desolate road. This ties eerily into Britt's recent find of mysterious medicine vials marked with a cryptic C, possibly linked to some shadowy supplier pulling strings from afar. Lulu, her empathy sharpened by her own resurrection from the brink, listens intently as Nathan grapples with the shock of changed realities: friends moved on, relationships fractured, and a son he never knew waiting in the wings. She responds with a knowing smile, "I get it more than you realize. Coming back feels like stepping into someone else's life." Their conversation deepens into shared stories of loss and rebirth, forging an instant bond that hints at budding friendship or even romantic sparks, especially as Lulu navigates her post-coma adjustments. This reconnection not only humanizes Nathan's return but also weaves in layers of speculation. Could his hazy recollections uncover a larger conspiracy involving that C-marked medicine, perhaps tied to Cassadine machinations or WSB cover-ups? Viewers will be on edge, wondering if this alliance strengthens Nathan's claim on James or exposes vulnerabilities in Port Charles's fragile peace. Over at the Corinthos residence, where family ties strain under the weight of past betrayals, Lois Cerullo shares a glimmer of optimism with her daughter, Brooke Lynn Quartermain, after a cautiously hopeful encounter with Gio Palmieri. Lois, ever the resilient matriarch with her Brooklyn grit intact, had mustered the courage to meet Gio face-to-face, owning up to her role in the deception that upended his world while making it clear his birth parents were innocent bystanders in the mess. Gio, still raw from the revelations and shielding his heart with walls of caution, listened but held back, his guarded responses revealing the deep scars of abandonment and identity crisis. Yet, Lois detects a tiny spark, a seed of hope, as she calls it, that could bloom into reconciliation. Turning to Brooke Lynn, her eyes alight with possibility, Lois paints a vivid picture of this chance dropping into their laps like a Quartermain windfall, an opportunity to heal old wounds, rebuild bridges, and perhaps welcome Gio fully into the fold as the son and brother he's always been meant to be. Brooke Lynn, torn between skepticism from her own rocky family history and a budding excitement, probes for details, leading Lois to elaborate on Joe's quiet strength and the parallels to her own journey of forgiveness with the Quartermains. This mother-daughter heart-to-heart delves into emotional territory, exploring how one act of accountability might cascade into mending the Cerullo Quartermain dynasty, but it also raises stakes. What if Joe's wariness hardens into rejection, forcing Lois to confront the limits of her influence? In the tapestry of General Hospital's enduring family sagas, this thread promises heartfelt resolutions laced with the risk of further heartbreak. Shifting to the opulent yet treacherous halls of the Quartermain mansion, Drew Kane makes a bold entrance just as Ronnie Bard receives a stern warning from the perceptive Cody Bell about the newcomer's true intentions. Drew, with his military-honed charisma and a Quartermain name that opens doors, approaches Ronnie directly, urging her to "give me a shot to show you who I really am, and prove my worth to this family." His plea carries the weight of shared outsider status, as he references Monica Quartermain's past dismissals of both as black sheep unworthy of the legacy, drawing parallels to their battles for acceptance amid the mansion's power plays. Ronnie, her defenses up after Cody's heads-up, eyes Drew warily, but his earnest storytelling, detailing his amnesia-fueled return and quest for belonging, might strike a chord, fostering an unlikely alliance against the Quartermain elite. Inventing new layers, imagine Drew sharing a fabricated anecdote from his presumed dead days, involving covert ops that echo Ronnie's own gritty backstory, potentially bonding them over mutual distrust of the status quo. Yet, the undercurrent of suspicion lingers. Is Drew's charm a genuine bid for kinship, or a calculated maneuver to maneuver Ronnie out of her inherited stake in the estate? No one in Port Charles would bat an eye if his ambitions veer toward manipulation, especially with ELQ boardroom battles looming. This dynamic teases a partnership that could upend Quartermain hierarchies or implode spectacularly, highlighting the mansion's role as a battleground for loyalty and legacy. Finally, at the cozy yet conspiracy-laden coffee haven, Jacinda Bracken delivers a potential gut punch to Michael Corinthos, her words dripping with doubt after enduring Drew's menacing threats earlier at Bobby's diner. Having initially stepped up as Michael's alibi in a tangled web of alibis and accusations, Jacinda now wavers, suggesting coolly over their lattes that you might need to scout a new story to back you up. Her shift feels like betrayal, born from the pressure of Drew's intimidation, perhaps whispered warnings of corporate ruin or personal peril that left her shaken. Michael, his jaw set in determination, tries to soothe her frayed nerves, recounting their shared history and the flimsiness of the threats, while inventing a new detail, a hidden recording he claims to have of Drew's aggression, offered as leverage to reaffirm her safety. But Jacinda's eyes betray inner turmoil, weighing the risks of loyalty against self-preservation in a town where secrets have deadly consequences. This cliffhanger moment amplifies Michael's vulnerabilities, especially as his business empire teeters. Losing this alibi could unravel his defense in an impending scandal, thrusting him into direct conflict with Drew and the Quartermains. As tensions simmer, it spotlights the high-wire act of trust in Port Charles, where one wobbly ally might spell disaster for Michael's carefully constructed world. Next, we will dive deep into the explosive tension brewing between Carly Spencer and her enigmatic partner, Jack Brennan, as lies and hidden agendas threaten to shatter their fragile bond. In a moment that left fans gasping, Carly Spencer locked eyes with Jack Brennan during a heated exchange, her words dripping with deception as she assured him everything was perfectly fine between them. This wasn't just any casual fib, it was a calculated move born from a storm of betrayal that had been building for weeks, ever since Carly uncovered the shocking truth about Jack's secret involvement with her daughter, Jocelyn Jacks. Picture the scene, the dimly lit corner of a bustling Port Charles cafe, where the clink of coffee cups masked the undercurrent of suspicion, and Carly's forced smile barely concealed the fire raging in her emerald eyes. Jack, with his sharp instincts honed from years in the shadowy world of international espionage, picked up on the subtle tremor in her voice immediately, his brow furrowing as he probed deeper into her assurances. Yet, when she doubled down on her claim of harmony, a wave of visible relief washed over his rugged features, softening the lines of worry that had etched themselves there since their last clandestine meeting. It's a testament to Carly's growing cunning. After all, this man, a direct descendant of the powerful WSB legacy, has outmaneuvered spies and operatives across the globe, but in matters of the heart, even he can be caught off guard by a woman's well-timed bluff. Carly's fury toward Jack stems from a deeply personal violation, his audacious decision to pull Jocelyn into the high-stakes realm of the WSB without so much as a whisper to her as Joss's protective mother. Imagine the betrayal hitting Carly like a freight train. Joss, her fiercely independent daughter who has already navigated her own share of dangers in Port Charles, now entangled in covert operations that could put her life on the line, all orchestrated by the very man Carly had begun to trust with her own vulnerabilities. This isn't just about secrecy, it's a direct assault on Carly's role as the unyielding guardian of her family, a position she has fiercely defended through countless crises, from teen rebellions to life-threatening scandals. During their confrontation, Carly offered Jack a golden opportunity to come clean, her tone laced with a mix of hope and warning as she hinted at the cracks in their foundation, but he sidestepped it entirely, choosing silence over confession. Was this an act of forgiveness on Carly's part, extending mercy to a man who has wormed his way into her guarded heart? Or is it the opening salvo in a meticulously crafted plan to dismantle the life he's built, piece by piece? Knowing Carly's storied history in Port Charles, where grudges are nurtured like fine wine, the scales tip heavily toward vengeance. As their romance teeters on the brink of collapse, Carly and Jack find themselves navigating a minefield of unspoken resentments that promises a spectacular, heartbreaking downfall. Fans can't help but question whether Carly harbors any genuine desire to salvage this connection, or if she's resigned to playing the long game, feigning affection while plotting his undoing from the shadows. Envision Carly in her sleek Metro court office, staring out at the glittering skyline, her mind a whirlwind of strategies, smiling sweetly at Jack during intimate dinners, all while mentally cataloging his weaknesses, from his unyielding loyalty to the WSB to his rare moments of emotional openness with her. Staying in this pretense will demand every ounce of Carly's renowned resilience, as she'll have to suppress her authentic rage and simulate passion for a relationship that's now poisoned at its core. The effort could erode her from within, turning their once sparking chemistry into a hollow performance, where every touch feels like a tactical maneuver and every whispered endearment hides a dagger. Yet, this artificial harmony won't last. Carly's innate drive for justice, forged in the fires of past heartbreaks, ensures that the facade will crack, revealing the storm she's been brewing. Concealing her explosive discovery about Joss's covert role under Jack's guidance will test Carly's poker face like never before, especially with a partner as perceptive as him. Jack isn't some naive newcomer to deception. His career has been built on decoding lies in high-pressure interrogations and undercover ops, making him an expert at peeling back layers of human pretense. He knows Carly's tells intimately, the way her fingers drum impatiently on tabletops when she's holding back, or how her laughter turns sharp when anger simmers beneath. As days turn into weeks, any slip in her composure could alert him to the brewing storm, potentially giving him the upper hand in whatever counterscheme he might unleash. Picture tense evenings where Jack casually probes about Joss's recent adventures, his eyes narrowing as Carly deflects with breezy anecdotes, her heart pounding with the fear of exposure. This cat-and-mouse dynamic could escalate quickly, with Jack's suspicions fueling a paranoia that mirrors the very betrayals he's inflicted, turning their home into a battleground of subtle interrogations and evasive glances. Unbeknownst to Jack, Carly's mind is already racing toward his potential downfall, a revenge plot that could redefine her legacy in Port Charles as the ultimate force of retribution. With her reputation as one of the town's most formidable women, a blend of unapologetic boldness and razor-sharp vindictiveness, no one should underestimate the lengths she'll go to protect her own. Targeting her children is a cardinal sin in Carly's world, instantly elevating Jack from lover to adversary in a hierarchy of foes that includes mob bosses and scheming socialites. Now, as she contemplates her next moves, whispers among Port Charles insiders suggest Carly might enlist unlikely allies, like her ex-sonny Corinthos, whose own history with the WSB could provide insider intel to sabotage Jack's operations. Her plan could unfold in layers. First, subtle leaks to WSB superiors questioning Jack's judgment, then fabricated evidence of his divided loyalties, all designed to tarnish the career he's poured his soul into. What else could she strip from him? His title is his armor, his girlfriend his only soft spot, and with both slipping away, Jack's empire of secrets might crumble under the weight of Carly's calculated fury. Carly Spencer has never been one to remain buried under adversity. Her life in Port Charles is a testament to phoenix-like rises from the ashes of unimaginable loss. From the gut-wrenching explosion that claimed her son Morgan's life, leaving a void that reshaped her entire worldview, to the quiet devastation of her mother Bobby Spencer's passing, which stripped away a pillar of strength and wisdom. Then there was the harrowing period when Sonny's presumed death plunged her into widowhood's grief, forcing her to rebuild amid whispers of foul play and hidden enemies. Don't forget the brutal takeover of her beloved Metro Court by Nina Reeves, the woman who not only stole her husband but symbolized every romantic betrayal Carly had endured. Through each trial, Carly emerged fiercer, channeling pain into power, launching new ventures, forging unbreakable alliances, and never hesitating to strike back at those who dared wound her. This latest chapter with Jack will follow suit, but the descent into chaos could be her most turbulent yet, filled with moral ambiguities and unexpected twists that test the very limits of her unyielding spirit. In this brewing war of hearts and secrets, will Carly descend into uncharted depths of manipulation to deliver Jack the reckoning he deserves, or will a flicker of lingering affection pull her back from the edge? Next, we will learn about the escalating drama surrounding the tangled love triangle involving Curtis Ashford, Portia Robinson, and Jordan Ashford on General Hospital. This storyline has captivated fans for months, weaving layers of betrayal, hidden truths, and family loyalties that threaten to unravel the fragile bonds in Port Charles. As tensions reach a boiling point, recent episodes have spotlighted confrontations and meddling that could shatter lives forever. The roots of this love triangle trace back to Curtis and Jordan's strained marriage, which began showing cracks under the weight of professional pressures and unspoken resentments. Curtis, the resilient club owner and private investigator, found solace in unexpected places during those turbulent times, drawing closer to Portia, the dedicated chief of staff at General Hospital. Portia, known for her fierce independence and medical expertise, didn't hesitate to offer support when Curtis confided in her about his marital woes. Late-night conversations at the Floating Rib turned into deeper emotional connections. Yet, what started as innocent comfort has now blossomed into something far more complicated, leaving Jordan feeling sidelined and vengeful. Fans have speculated for weeks that Portia's involvement wasn't purely platonic. Whispers of stolen glances and secretive meetings have fueled online forums, with many predicting this affair would explode during a high-society event like the recent Coeur Tea party. At the heart of the current chaos is Portia's closely guarded secret. She's pregnant, but the paternity remains a heartbreaking mystery. In a twist that echoes classic soap opera intrigue, Portia grapples with the possibility that the father could be her devoted husband, Curtis, or the enigmatic Isaiah, a charismatic colleague whose brief but intense flirtation during a hospital crisis last spring left her questioning her choices. Isaiah, a sharp-witted surgeon with a reputation for charming his way through tough shifts, had shared vulnerable moments with Portia amid a chaotic ER lockdown, moments that blurred professional lines. Portia has been battling morning sickness and fatigue, symptoms she's masked with herbal teas and quick excuses during board meetings. Her pregnancy test confirmed the news just weeks ago, but confiding in anyone feels impossible amid the divorce proceedings with Curtis. This revelation adds a poignant layer to her character, highlighting her internal conflict between protecting her family and confronting the consequences of her actions. As Portia navigates doctor appointments in secrecy, she worries about the impact on her daughter Trina, already reeling from the family's upheaval. Jordan, ever the astute former deputy mayor, picked up on Portia's distress signals during the elegant Coeur gathering, where crystal chandeliers and gourmet pastries set a deceptive tone of civility. Noticing Portia's pale complexion, her hurried dashes to the powder room, and a subtle hand on her abdomen, Jordan's suspicions ignited like a fuse. The event, hosted by the formidable Tracy Quartermain to mend family fences, became the unlikely stage for this showdown. Jordan cornered Portia near the rose garden, her voice low but accusatory. "You can't hide it forever, Portia, those symptoms scream pregnancy, and we both know Curtis might not be the only man in the picture." Portia, flustered yet composed, brushed it off as stress from the hospital's budget cuts, insisting Jordan was projecting her own bitterness. The confrontation drew sidelong glances from guests like Ned and Olivia, who sensed the undercurrent of rivalry but chose discretion. Jordan's boldness stems from her lingering resentment. She views Portia as the catalyst who swooped in during her marriage's weakest moments, offering Curtis not just advice but a shoulder that felt too comforting. Refusing to let the matter drop, Jordan later vented to her closest ally, Police Commissioner Anna Devane, over craft beers at the bustling Brown Dog pub. The dimly lit bar, alive with locals unwinding after work, provided a stark contrast to the Quartermain's opulence, clinking glasses and laughter masking the intensity of their hushed discussion. Jordan detailed every clue, the nausea, the evasive glances, even Portia's sudden aversion to the tea party's shrimp appetizers. Anna, with her worldly experience from international espionage days, advised caution, warning that jumping to conclusions could backfire spectacularly. Yet Jordan, fueled by a mix of hurt and protectiveness over Curtis, is poised to relay this bombshell directly to him, potentially igniting a firestorm. Imagine the fallout: Curtis, already navigating his divorce and recovery from past injuries, learning his soon-to-be ex might be carrying another man's child. This impulsive urge to interfere underscores Jordan's unresolved feelings, turning personal pain into public meddling that could fracture alliances across Port Charles. Unbeknownst to Jordan at the time, Trina Robinson was also patronizing the brown dog that evening, sketching in her notebook at a corner table while sipping a soda. Trina, the artistic and fiercely loyal young woman studying at Port Charles University, overheard snippets of the conversation and couldn't contain her protective instincts. Having been recently informed of her parents' impending divorce, a bombshell delivered over a tense family dinner at their home, Trina clings to the dream of reconciliation. The marriage, only a handful of years strong, introduced Curtis into her life as her biological father just months ago, a revelation that upended her sense of identity after years of believing Marcus Taggart was her sole dad. Trina's world flipped when DNA tests confirmed Curtis's paternity during a dramatic courtroom twist last year, blending joy with confusion as she navigated dual father figures. Spotting Jordan across the room, Trina marched over, her voice steady but edged with desperation. "Stay away from my dad, Jordan, you've caused enough trouble already." The plea, meant to safeguard her family's future, stunned Jordan, who responded with a mix of sympathy and frustration, reminding Trina that adult relationships aren't child's play. Trina's intervention, while born from pure-hearted concern, crosses boundaries that even the most devoted daughter shouldn't breach. At her age, balancing college deadlines and part-time gallery work, Trina should channel her energy elsewhere, like unraveling the mystery of Taggart's sudden vanishing act. The rugged detective, who raised her with unwavering love despite not being her biological father, disappeared after a cryptic phone call involving an old case tied to the Cassadine family. Rumors swirl that Taggart went undercover to protect Trina from lingering threats from his past arrests, perhaps hiding in a safe house upstate or even fleeing to Puerto Rico for a fresh start. Trina's casual dismissal of his absence, focusing instead on her parents' drama, feels out of character for someone so empathetic. Perhaps she's in denial, burying the worry under hopes of Curtis and Portia's reunion, but ignoring Taggart risks losing another pillar of her support system. A subplot hinting at Taggart's return could tie into the love triangle, forcing Trina to confront how her divided loyalties have blinded her to greater dangers. Across the board, none of these key players is navigating the turmoil with grace or wisdom. Curtis remains caught in the crossfire, unaware of the pregnancy bombshell while rebuilding his life post-accident, perhaps leaning on friends like Marshall for guidance. Portia's secrecy, while understandable given the stakes, only amplifies the isolation, as she dodges questions from colleagues like Hamilton Finn during shifts. Jordan's meddling, driven by justified anger over Portia's role in her marital collapse, veers into vindictive territory that could isolate her further from Curtis's circle. And Trina, bless her optimistic soul, needs to step back and let adults resolve their messes, especially with her own path diverging toward new romantic interests on campus. This multifaceted saga promises more twists. Will Portia's paternity test reveal the truth before Jordan spills the beans? Could Taggart's reemergence force a family intervention? General Hospital continues to deliver pulse-pounding drama, keeping viewers glued to every revelation in Port Charles. Stay tuned for next week's updates on this riveting love triangle.